Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Real Hazardous. Today I want to talk to you guys about all of the things you need to go shrimping. Talk about the gear, kind of some are need to have and some are nice to have. So if you've never done shrimping before, then this will be very helpful for you. Some of the things you need to have are a net, a cast net. I would say at least a 6-footer, but if you can throw bigger, that's better because you'll get a lot more area and catch the shrimp quicker. Also, taping that net is very important. I'll put a link in a video. I went underwater with my cameras and scuba gear and we threw a cast net, one with tape around the edges and one without it. It makes a big difference having that tape on it. Over here in Florida, the limit's 5 gallons per person if you're on land, 5 gallons per boat if you're on a boat. So you're gonna wanna have a 5-gallon bucket to measure your catch. Legally, you do need to have a license. In Florida, you have to have a saltwater license, and that'll cover your shrimp catching. One of the things that's nice to have, but not necessarily a necessity, is a little mesh bucket. A mesh basket. It's nice to be able to pull your net up and drop the shrimp in there, and that way the mesh lets all the water and stuff drain, and it's bigger, so it can hold the shrimp. You can dump it in, you can sort the shrimp if you need to, things like that. It's very helpful to have that mesh basket. Some other things that are good to have are a sounder depth recorder on your boat. I find it's important to monitor your depths because a lot of times the shrimp will be in a certain depth on any given day, and having that depth recorder will allow you to see where you need to be. You can actually see shrimp on the depth recorder if they're somewhat thick, kind of a fuzzy stuff on the bottom. But otherwise, shrimping is pretty basic. You just need that cast net with tape around it. And if you're from a boat, you get your boat and you got your depth recorder. If you're doing it from a dock, which is very popular, you typically do it from land at night because the shrimp come in shallow at night, in which case obviously you don't need a boat or a depth recorder. In that instance, you want to have chum. You'll make these chum balls, kind of attract them, throw them in the water. So that's kind of the difference between day and night. And we have some videos on both if you want to get some more input and see what we do for that. A nice to have is a spare net, because throwing these on the bottom sometimes there is a structure, trash, old trees, whatever, you can get your net snagged and tore up. It's also nice to have little zip ties. We actually use little zip ties to repair our nets, so you might want to carry some of those on your boat too. With 2 of us in the boat, sometimes I'll motor around and we'll just test. We'll just throw the net out, testing, seeing if they're here, trying the last spot you did, seeing what other people are doing. You might see what depth they're on, stuff like that. And you can use your trolling motor or your regular motor. It's not like they're real spooky or anything. Otherwise, that's all you need. Obviously, if you're boating, all your regular legal and safety requirements, you need to have those. Check your state's laws. 26 right now. Might be some little stuff marking right there. A little better. Yeah.
What's our depth there now?
13 and a half. 18. 19.
A little better.
Yeah.
What's our depth there?
22.
Very many.
Looks like there's some mark in there. Dang. That was a good one.
Yeah. What was that depth? 22?
Yeah. 20. Now we're at 18, so I don't know where it. I guess if we throw in 20, it'll.
Yeah, that's probably about the line.
Yeah, that was a good one. So guys, on that one, had a really good net pull. It was really thick. Yeah, and it's important to watch your depth recorder and pay attention where you're at, because they could be holding in a really narrow spot. It's kind of like deadliest catch, and you see them trying to get their pots in one spot. I mean, we want to get right in the zone and just hammer on them. Looks like I'm starting to mark them. Say what numbers should you stay on to catch shrimp. It's really up to you. You think about it, if you're catching 10 shrimp at a time, I don't know what a 5-gallon bucket holds depending on their size. Say that's 5,000, I don't know, shrimp. You gotta ask yourself, do you want to throw 500 times that cast net to get that limit's worth? You know, I'd prefer not to. I'd rather get 30 or 40 nice ones and, you know, throw 100 or 200 times. You know, just saving energy and time. It does get tiring throwing in a net. You get twice as open, you catch twice as much. Got a few. Got a little rain in the distance. It's kind of marking a ledge, if you can see this. See where it, not really a ledge, but just a drop down. You can see it's very shallow here, and it quickly drops down here. And you can see where we've been working. That's where all the shrimp are. Trying to find just a specific depth, but it's kind of hard to hit. Kind of hit or miss, pun intended.
What's the depth there?
12.
A little bit of reverse. You probably just loop that way. There you go. Like that, go forward. Sometimes I get them in the 18, sometimes 22, 23. A lot more smaller ones now. Bigger ones. Right.
Decent ones over there.
Mandarin.
Yeah. We just figured we'd try this when we go home.
I like the contender. We got a 27.
Do you?
Yeah.
This is like 50 years old.
That's all right. They'll last forever.
Yeah, they do. Oh man, I think you found them. You found the bait. That cut us
21
off.
and 22.
Yeah. Right.
Hey guys, we're back from shrimping. Had a good day, got a good mess of shrimp, and now we're doing the fun part of cleaning the shrimp, or as we call it, heading the shrimp. Basically removing the head from the rest of the body, and then we'll take that big piece of tail where all the meat is, and we're gonna freeze it in water, and then we can eat it throughout the year. Or as we go through it, we kind of sort it, and all the kind of smaller ones that'd be kind of a lot of work for eating, we're gonna save as bait. So when we go inshore fishing, yellowtail, mangrove, you know, redfish, trout, whatever, you'll have some shrimp that you can use for bait. So we're just gonna get that all headed up. Pretty simple process, just kind of squeeze right between the head and where the meat of the tail starts, and it pops right off, and then you're good to go. They do have a spiky little horn on their head, so be careful about just reaching your hand into that cooler full of shrimp, because you can get poked. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and learned something. If you guys have any questions or tips or thoughts, comment on the video below, and we'll see you next time on Real Hazardous.